Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by Klub TV and Wilson's Pizza and Grill.
This from my pops, California coastlines, living out my real mind. Now it's really showtime, now it's how I draw a line. From the fake to real, that's how it feels when you multi. But let's not forget all of the giants I wanna stump down. Scared that their positions can't be taken with a new sound.
What's happening, good people? I am First Things First, Don't Forget the Coach, then comes Won't.
And I'm Jabrelle, Jenee.
And you are here on the Evening Social Podcast. We appreciate everyone coming out for this special show tonight. Alright, we have someone special with us tonight. But before I get to that, I'm really going to skip it because I'm still a little salty because he keeps having his own camera. I've been doing this for 2 years. I still ain't got my own camera. But DJ Ben got his own camera.
Just move over there whenever.
But my DJ better than yours. Y'all give it up for DJ Ben Bridge. You're a new one. You got a beard.
He got a beard.
You got a beard. You don't need one for that. Now, I'm going to say this. I'll put this disclaimer out there. DJ Ben Bridge, make sure you look him up. Any genre, anything you need, any type of party, he can go old school, young, middle, anything, hip hop, R&B, bar mitzvahs, country. He did a dog party. You ain't never heard of that, huh? He did a dog party. I'm just saying he can do it. And I put that out there. If you hire him and he DJ your party, if you not satisfied, the people in there ain't rocking the party, I pay for it. But he video all the parties, so if the people in there dancing, they doing this lectures, you can't ask for that. Okay. There we go. DJ Ben Rich, look him up. Now, tonight's episode is with, well, first of all, I'm going to just give you a title. I ain't been giving titles for a long time, but I got to give a title for tonight. Is Dispatch and Drip. Dispatch and Drip. That's what tonight's episode is. Well, we didn't take too long.
Just go until it stops and go down.
He got Dispatch and Drip. Tonight is special, man, because our guest tonight not only is the epitome of entrepreneurship, a long line of entrepreneurs, long line of ownership, but also he is a supporter of the Jegna Klub. He's a supporter of the Evening Social Podcast. He is the community partnership for our fun question set. And I got to say this, he believed in us before we was 2 years in. He believed in us when we were starting. And so we appreciate that. So without further ado, I got to say, you know, I call him the entrepreneur icon. You know what I'm saying? From my city. That's what we call him. You know what I'm saying? We got to represent, you know what I'm saying, Mr. David Jordon. I'm gonna take that drip. That drip is some good water, man. I appreciate that. We appreciate you. Dave, I gotta come right out.
Keep going just
and
a
I'm
left
gonna
to
add something. And this one is gonna jump a little bit.
Just try to center.
Yeah, it's gonna jump a little bit.
Keep going left.
This ain't gonna be no regular.
Of all three, shot.
Yeah, it's just no regular. This ain't no regular day.
Right, just
It's
there.
coming through, you know.
That's fine.
First, I gotta say,
Tilt down.
shout out to our interns today, our connected with our interns that are producing T Money. You know, it's our producer been doing it, but we have a new group from Pro X this summer, so we appreciate them being here, and we'll get to know them a little later. But see, I got a new time range.
Thank God.
I got a new time range out there. She's getting me from the introduction. So we're gonna move to the next place. See, my question was actually getting to the next segment. That's what my question was. So now we get to that. All right. No, don't be just the time where I can't see the lights in my eyes. I can't see.
All right. So we talking.
We talking. Dave, I gotta ask you this. What? So with everything going digital, I mean, so many things is digital though. You have the newspaper, Dispatch Post USA. We're gonna get to how that happened.
Sure.
But I want to ask the elephant in the room is you still have hard copies, right?
You know.
The Star don't even put hard copies out anymore. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So with this age of digital, I gotta ask, why the hard copies still?
So what you asked is a loaded question.
Okay.
So the reason I
Do you want to play that graphic?
is because I look at
Press space.
Kansas City is a different market. And if I was in a different city, then I wouldn't play. Kansas City has an old school way of doing business. And it's honorable. And one of the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to not only print, but I wanted to make history. Because I'm always thinking long term. Right? I'm not thinking now, I'm thinking later. It's like now and later. You know what I'm saying? Oh, anyway, but seriously though, I am literally always thinking of later. So what I wanted to do was present something that was really crispy. Shout out to the Papa for saying that on the Kansas City song. And I wanted something positive. Something that we can sit at a boardroom, something we can sit at a nice office and slide this newspaper just across the time. To where it's not looked at and say, man, what is this? I want people to look at it and say, wow, what is this? Everybody in the city's in here. And why I don't know about it. And so when you create that bar right there early, the level shoots up. Now, if you got business in the paper, they immediately look at you from a different light. So I always wanted to come in the game right. I didn't want to come in the game just to say I got business and then not really running it properly. I wanted to be held with the best of it. So yeah, so when you look at KC, we have a little slower market. And since we have a slower market, I feel like this is my opportunity to timestamp history. So years from now, when your kids, grandkids, will be like, Papa, man, you was on the front page? Wasn't that the year everybody got sick? You know, during the pandemic. That's going to be history. And it's gonna be created by memorabilia. So where people gonna want autographs, well, you was getting that. So I'm always thinking long term to build value into us. So yeah, so that's a loaded question.
Now, the people want to know the game in here with the suit and glasses.
Come on,
Come on,
Let me get going. I need to get going first before.
I would say, hey, I would say you came in here with suit and glasses. You should let me know I put my suit coat on. I got suit coats too.
You know,
Cosmo get suit coats and dress up too. You know, you something like DJ Ben Rich. He got himself out there something.
yeah.
With his suit and you know.
I went to a phone booth when I got out.
You go, okay. Come out with the slips off, man. I see what you're doing. Okay.
I gotta ask, since you brought it up, I mean, since we jumped right into that, I'm just curious because you mentioned that the market is slow, right?
It's just a little different. Correct.
If you gotta be from Kansas City to understand what you mean. But how have you been able to sustain it?
So, everybody will take glasses off.
Back over.
It's all play. So anyway, what I've learned is that once you invest in us and then do it the right way, you're gonna be a supporter all the way to the end. So I'm generally, whenever I do something,
Fully edited. They're about an
right,
hour.
I operate out of love. L-O-V, not L-O-V, not L-U-V, L-O-V. I operate with that. Everything I do. So I show people love. I put them on front page with the best of them. So if I can interject hope in you, you gonna run like, man, I'm on the front page. I'm on this and I'm on that. So I wanted to make sure that once again, we're represented right. The way that I was brought up, it was like, boy, if you don't do something, do it right, or don't do it at all. Period. So with things switching to digital, a lot of newspapers went under.
My broadcast teacher helped me out a lot.
And just to be fair, there was a lot of newspapers that didn't want to fool with it because they didn't know how to handle it. Right there, they didn't know how to navigate it in the wrong news. So then you have a lot of newspapers selling out. They was just selling. It's over. I'm through printing. You even had printers selling their presses. So then you had the big fishes running around buying all the small presses. And then when they bought all the small presses, and then it was a strong on the little guys. So yeah, now you got to print for me, and now we can make you pay with it. So there was some hustling going on during that time. So me and my boy, and I gotta give him a shout out, Jason Carruthers. I mean, you know Jason, who? Yeah, my dog. So we had an interview. It was at a Rich concert at the Midway. Rich had a concert with, I think it was Sal P and it was Jada Kiss. And so we back there interviewing. So I told Jason, I said, man, you interview, I'm just gonna sit. And so it was one of the dopest interviews I ever had in my life. Jay pulled out a styrofoam notepad and a pen. And he said, okay, well let's do this interview. Jada laughed, he said, boy, y'all old school and I love it. And he said, man, I'm gonna do this interview with y'all. He said, but next time, y'all better be on social media. And then I said, man, I don't know about that, bro. I said, I don't know if that's gonna come and go. And he said, look, you got something, bro. You got something that they want. He said, man, we're gonna do this interview. He said, man, we'll run with it. Them two icons literally gave me that. The next person icon gave me that was Jay Styles.
He dropped it up, but them dropped it too high.
Yeah. He showed me love too. He was like, now I'm about to take a picture. I'm about to put this on Instagram. I said, what's that? He's like, you don't know about Instagram? I said, man, homie, I ain't getting down. I don't know. I don't even know if this gonna last. And he said, I feel you. He said, man, watch this. 40 minutes later, he said, bro, come here. He showed me his phone. He said, you see all these people in Cali asking about your paper? I said, man, you lying. He said, bro, they won't go on social media. He said, still print. He said, his social media, hit that area. He said, bro, I love it. So, Rich the Factor. I gotta give a shout out to Rich. Rich always told me, he said, bro, street versus commercial. Once you got the streets, they're gonna always mess with you. Hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? All the real guys who I respect in the game came out to me and said, bro, you got something. So they was injecting hope back into me and saying that you got something different from what any other publication has. You ain't putting the Fed list in there. You ain't putting the murder cases. You ain't doing none of that stuff. Which I got clowned on, mind you. Why you printing positive news? Bro, they ain't gonna support you. Why you doing that? And then I said, because that lane wide open. Why would I get in a lane that's jammed up? I can set my crews in this lane and drive.
Listen, I gotta ask because the interns are here today.
Come on.
Because we're talking about a saturation.
That's right.
And so you created a different lane because, you know, I mean, everybody's already doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
How did you come to have that mindset? Is that something that you grew up
So,
with?
well, the way we was brought up, we had to grit it out. And when I say grit, when I tell you we came out the hood, literally, he knows this. I grew up on a farm.
Let's get into that.
Yeah,
That was the next one. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, so it was instilled in us to work. As long as that sun is up, you work. When that sun go down, I don't care what you do on that day, you gotta get it in. So that was instilled in, and so being black and being in the newspaper business, we was always left out. So it was either close your doors or you gonna have to figure it out. So we would sit as kids, we would sit and have impact, right? We would try to figure out our edge. And so whatever our edge was, we exercised it. So I used to get told all the time when people would see the paper, they used to call it a white paper. And I used to thank them. I said, thank you. And then I said, but I'm probably one of the darkest ones in the room. But I knew what they weren't saying. You got something nice, that can't be black.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So now, that's a lane. Now, in the process of that, I gotta not only do the paper, but I have to teach in the process. Because now, I'm going against a mindset of, that ain't your paper for, quit lying. So now I have to train, I have to teach, and I gotta deal with the opposition from us. Which was something that I didn't see coming. So yeah, it was a lot, but it toughened us up. It toughened me up. So I take everything as a challenge. My prayer all the time is, okay, God, so what lesson am I supposed to learn from this? I'm ready to get to it.
Right.
I don't want to be sitting in there mad and angry. No, God, what you trying to tell me? Let me hurry get to this so I can get to the next.
There's something to be said about somebody who can dig a niche out of a saturated market.
Say
And
it again,
a
say it
dire market
again.
on
I like
top of
that.
that.
Yeah,
No, I love that.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's either sink or swim. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you what my daddy said. He said, boy, if you want to raise, you want to make more money, go sell ass.
Oh, God.
I know. I hear you.
Jesus is here tonight.
I ain't much my words to him.
Listen, I thought it said ads.
That's what he said. Ads. ABS.
We all on the same page. I don't know where everybody laughing at.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What was so
That's how it makes money.
It's like keep the head out together.
This is peachy.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Where you doing it? Where you doing it?
We went after the door.
I'm sure my age.
Now, let me ask you this, because we got to move, because time crunches.
We got arms crossed.
Cross the line and everything. So,
Best one yet.
I'm gonna regress just a little bit to come back to this, okay? Because you mentioned something, I wanna go there. So where were you born?
Now I'm not from Missouri.
Not from Missouri. Okay, a lot of people don't know that.
Now I'm not from Missouri. Is about an hour from here, 16 miles, I believe, east of Watersburg.
Okay.
Right off 50, in between 50 and I-70. So we was in the middle. We was out there.
Gotcha. So how did you get? Because you went to school
That's right.
in
Wanda County. Yeah.
So talk to me about that.
So we drove up here.
I
Literally.
I want this to come out.
Yeah.
I'm saying, because we need to know, we need to know about this, because this also tests too. So let me say this. I'm asking you these questions, even though I know, I'm asking because I want them to come out, because this attests to the hard work, what you were instilled in, what you're doing, and then people realize, man, he did this. Like, this is what he was doing, and even before school, before he got the newspaper, before he got the water, he was used to doing this. And that's why you can do these things.
Well, you have to understand that during that time, what we were doing wasn't like it was a big thing. It was like, boy, shut up and do it.
Right.
Like, so it wasn't,
The next segment
we didn't
up,
think we
let's
was
just
doing anything out the box, right? So we was just, basically, just to be honest with you, we was always trying to stay busy so we wasn't getting trouble. Because the worst thing you could tell my parents was, I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing ever. That's like walking in the house cussing. Because they gonna put you to work. So we would literally cut off Saturday and all day Saturday we would literally cut grass all day. We was out in the field cutting grass. We had hogs down the hill. I slopped hogs. We had an old chicken house. We had gathered eggs. We had cows. I mean, we did this. This was a norm. So I even had a nickname. I even had a nickname when I came here to the city. Everybody called me Farmer Dave.
What's that?
I didn't know no better.
Yeah.
I was happy to get a nickname.
Yeah.
And so coming from where I came from, because we lived in a trailer. So we lived up on top of the hill, and so, we had to get our water. We had to do all that. Like, I mean, when I tell the story, people look at me like, "Dude, you lying. That was your grandparents. That was your people." And I'm like, "Nah, this was us."
Yeah.
Like, we lived this, and it was all in a day's work. Let's see. That on Monday morning, we would have to get up, jump in the all sky blue Nova, and we'd come up here to Kansas City. We'd get dropped off to school. My mother, she was a substitute teacher for Southeast. She taught English. She taught English in Sligo, Wyandotte, all of that. She was a strict educator. I mean, very talented. This is her right here.
Mm-hmm.
Very talented. And very strict. So there was no talking back. You know what I mean? I mean, it was just, we feared our parents. So we grew up in like just a tradition. So when I got here to the town, and I started hearing everybody talk about good and ghetto, I'm looking like, man, y'all got street lights and curves. We burning our trash. We had to go out there in the middle of the night and walk, drag our trash, and burn it. And have to stand there and make sure it burns out before we walk back to the house. So that was a norm. The storms and stuff would come. The power lines would fall down and we couldn't get to the house because our roads were flooded full of water. You know what I'm saying? So we would have to sit and wait till the roads, till all the water died down. And then we would creep over the power lines that failed just to get to the house. Yeah, that was a norm. I assumed, this is just real talk. I assumed everybody experienced what I was experiencing, so that's why it was a norm for me.
I think most people, and I'm going to say poverty for lack of a better word, but I think that most people who grow up impoverished think that it's the norm.
Right.
You always think that your situation is.
Yes, it's normal.
Is
with
what
everybody.
it is.
Yeah. So maybe during that time that was being instilled in me, but I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We was just trying to win.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We wasn't stopping for the moment and being like, wow, look at what we did. We ain't had time to stop.
So, what grade did you come up here and start going to school?
We were coming back and forth, but fully, I want to say 85, 87.
Okay.
So, I was born in 75.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, what's wrong? Yeah, 75. So that's what, 10, what's going on?
Hey, you look better than me.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. All right, so.
She's born in 2005. So she's.
On everything?
She's young.
So,
like it though.
yeah, so 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
We was down at the farm, and then when we came up here, we was living up here, and then we started, and then that's when I started to go to school in Johnson County. Then I went to school, first I went to never forget this. I gotta tell you, I was mad, right? I never played sports.
This in high school.
Yeah.
That you went to school with Johnson County?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was mad, right?
Uh-huh.
Because the way we were brought up, it was Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, right?
Yeah.
This is everywhere we go. Black, pro-black, wasn't the question. So now we're going to school. I'm going to school in Johnson County. I'm hot. I'm mad. And y'all remember the Rodney King verdict?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember the Rodney King verdict happened, and one guy in one of the class said something crazy. I don't know why they burning up their neighborhoods and said something. And I blacked out. I don't remember what happened. I don't remember. This is crazy. I don't remember what happened. And I remember once I got off the bus, see, because I was riding the bus to the house, and then I jumped in my van and I went back over to Wine County. Because I didn't want none of my partners to know I was over in jail. It was weird. It was a weird time. But when I got home that night, my mama said, "David, come here." I said, "Yes." She said, I looked at my daddy. They had this look on their face. They said, "So what happened to school today?" And it, you know, now I've gone the whole day. Now I kind of forgotten about it. I don't know what happened. It was like, "You don't remember what happened to school today?" And I was like, "Oh." And then when I explained it, I watched my daddy, he grinned. First time I ever seen him, he kind of laughed. And it was almost like he was proud of me. And it was the weirdest thing in the world, but it kind of taught me. And then I asked him, I said, "Why did you pull me out to go here?" And he said, "David, whether you realize it or not, you are a businessman. You've been around business your whole life." And he said, "And in order to do business, you got to work with everybody." He said, "So I'm trying to instill," he said, "You got black, that's all in you. You ain't got to worry about that." He said, "But you need to learn how to work with the other side." He said, "Never compromise, but you need to understand how they think, and then you need to understand how to maneuver, and then you put it in your mind how you place it in the business." So when he broke it down that way to me, I said, "Okay, now I get it." But I was holding a grudge for years. I was mad. They wait. Had me on for sale, and then I go to Jay, this is a culture shock. So I didn't say nothing to nobody. I was mad. So but now I understand, and it's no different from what we do now. What we do, get a nice house, we slide our kids out somewhere because we want to get them the best education, right? So I mean, but anyway.
Yeah, I get it. So Pops laid the foundation of what's going on to be a businessman. That's why I was hoping you said that, because you said that earlier about the foundation of being a businessman.
Yeah.
That you have to be able to work with all people.
Yeah, all people.
I like that. So now what I do want to know, and we talked about this before, and you mentioned it just, tell me about the days, your high school, your days, where you jumped in that van going back to Wyandotte, but y'all on the road, because you still got to deliver these newspapers and things and stuff. So let's talk about that. So people can understand what the responsibility you had in, you know what I'm saying? Because first, let me ask you this. Let me leave with this. Who started the newspaper?
My mother and father did in 1973.
Okay, so I want to get this out, that it was a newspaper started by your parents.
That's correct.
Okay, now you grew up working
Yeah.
for and with the newspaper.
Some call them slave drivers. They call them slave drivers.
Okay.
They like, I mean,
Yeah.
people looked at us and was like, "Boy, we feel sorry for y'all." Like,
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, y'all ain't got no life. I mean, we ain't go to no show. I mean, I think there's a few people here. We ain't have video games. We ain't have Atari. None of that. None of that.
You said moving to JO was a culture shock, but I would imagine coming to the city was too then.
Nah, I was already over here. We was here, but then we moved out there.
Oh, okay.
So and that's why I was like, why? What's going on? Why we out here? But he was like, "Look, I'm trying to establish something that you don't see."
No, I'm talking about coming from, was it
Coming from
coming
the
from the
city.
farm to the city. I would think that that's a culture shock as well, even though you're around.
Nah. So once you get to know me, I'm a personal person, right? I mean, because I operate out of love. I don't care what your situation is. I mean, I'm still cool with partners to this day. And you know, they was in the projects or whatever. I didn't care. But we all had the same mental. Yeah, we all had the same mentality. We still partners to this day. So I just love realness. Whoever you are, come on with it. I can sit down with you, we can chop it up, and we gonna draw up a play to make things work, right? So I've never had that issue. It was when I got out of my comfort zone. So now I feel like, okay, what is this is ridiculous. I'm not about to figure this out, but I wind up having to. So, what was your question? You asked me about.
No, we just was
Oh, yeah,
talking
we was asking
about.
about my parents.
First, I wanted to get the background of the newspaper, foundation of where the newspaper come. You know what I mean? And then I wanted to bring it out because I think it's important for our listeners to understand the regiment that you had in high school that leads to the regiment now, because your pops was building a lot of things in you to teach. So let's talk about the skill. Let's talk about in high school. You had this band. Let's talk about, you know.
So I was 16, 17, had no license, but you know, my daddy was like, you better get out there and fill the newspaper.
Yeah.
So we would have a driver, but you know, kids, this is my first time being out. So we'll let the driver go home. This was my little sneaky way. So I'm driving with no license. All my partners, even the Slago wind out. I'm going to the winter formals, the proms. I'm in kicking it at the games. You know, I'm at home basically. I'm feeling good. But with that being said, I had a responsibility. So at that time, we had two newspapers. One was called the Kansas State Globe and the Missouri State Post, and both papers covered the entire state of Kansas. Entire state of Missouri. It wasn't the city, it was the state. So from KCK to Wichita, and from Missouri to St. Louis. And we had newspaper machines. And so we dropped off news, so we had like 300 newspaper machines. Yeah, it was real. So it wasn't just driving from here to Wichita. We had to go to Lawrence, we had to go to Topeka, you had to go to Manhattan, you had to go to Junction City, you had to go to Salina, you had to cross over to Newton, and you had to go to Wichita. So that whole trip, that roundabout trip was 7 hours. So that was our whole day, Saturday. Then Saturday. On Friday, we would go to St. Louis. But we'll take 50 all the way down to Jeff City, cross over to Fulton, Missouri, and get on 70, and then take that up to St. Louis. Then we come back to Columbia. See, I know this route, the back of my head. And so we had to do it every week, mind you. Every week for, 25, 30 years. This is way before social media. So, you know, during that time, late 80s, early 90s, man, we used to get pulled over by the police. We was running from the cops. But we young and black. They thinking we pushing, work. They like these dudes y'all ain't doing news, right? We was just getting gang all the time. And so, we had to make a believer out of the police what we was doing, because they just didn't believe it. So, and now mind you, if I didn't fill the newspaper machines on time, then I got in trouble with my dad. And my mama knew it. So, but you know how mothers are. Y'all know how y'all got the intuition. That boy didn't go out of town. I know he did. So she would politely come to me and say, David, your daddy's going to Wichita for a meeting. You better make sure the newspaper machines is filled. And I'd be scared to death. I'm walking on pins and needles. Because I know he's going up there to check the newspaper machines and he see the week before. And my daddy, live with iron fist. Yeah. So it was, so it taught. So mind you, either two things happen during this time. Either you become very clever and sneaky, or you better do what you want. You better do what you're supposed to do, because you're gonna get jammed up later.
Don't call it sneaky, strategic.
Okay.
Same thing. Yeah. Both of the STR, strategic.
But I gotta throw this in. My partners, they used to see us go through this. They used to be like, dude, Dave, you need to run away. Like, all my friends said, boy, you need to run away. And on top of that, we was in church all day Sunday.
Listen, I knew I was there.
Yeah, so you gotta know, So if you really look at it from an aerial point of view, our parents made sure they ain't got no time to mess up. You gonna stay busy. Ain't no just sitting around doing nothing. That's why it's hard for me to see kids now just sitting around. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? I have never, like, it's weird to me.
Yeah.
I can't knock it, but it's just weird to me because I never had that time. You know, I ain't a hater. I ain't mad because you're doing it. It's just like, I've never seen it before. It's like seeing an alien. This is weird to me. But they strategically kept us busy to where every time was accounted for. And you make every opportunity your best. And so when I was going to the school, my mother used to always say, boy, you know they don't like you. The Jordon home was so old school and real. It was what we was used to, right? So she would say, you know they don't like you. Don't you give them a reason not to. You better do your work, and you better pull your pants up. You better make sure, don't you have them people call me. Like that was the requirement. Because she knew that everybody looking at you. Don't you give them a reason to? So that was instilled in us. And as like I said, and I always thought everybody had that thinking, right? And I remember my father said, David, he said, your problem that you're gonna run into is that you think everybody was brought up like you. He said, everybody's not. He said, so you're gonna have to, he said, never change who you are, but you're gonna have to start accepting that people aren't as disciplined as you are because, you know, we put the fear of God in. So, yeah, so anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going down memory lane.
That's a good thing because I think a lot of times, sometimes people don't realize that there's a difference in upbringing. It took me a while to realize that too. Like, people want, and that's not a knock, but no one's better than the other.
Right.
It's just that I thought that all people was qualified. All people know this. All people was talking about. But that's not the truth. And it's not, this is better than that.
Right.
It's just different.
It's just a whole different place.
It's just different.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with how this was and that.
That's right.
So I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand. So what we're going to do right now, because we got to get to this other part, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk a little bit about some of our community partnerships, and then we're going to have Jabrelle come back out, and she going to
bless us again.
That first one was amazing.
Yeah, I was over there
Come
rocking.
back.
I was body rocking over the corner. I was body rocking.
Man, I'm telling you, it was amazing.
Music.
So we're gonna take a
I'll
quick
let you do
partnership
the
break, recognize
switch
some
for
of
the
our
music.
partnerships, and then Jabrelle will come back out. All right. So with this episode is brought to you in part by Wilson's Pizza and Grill. It's also brought to you in part by Henderson Entertainment, taking KC artists to worldwide platforms. It's brought to you by New Wall Street, an investment education community. Also brought to you by Klub TV, now on Roku. Our brand partnerships are with. Oh man, here she go. She do this all the time. She forget her mind. Yes, I'm sorry. Bernie at 91. What you mean?
Get into it.
Oh Lord, Bernie at 91. Truth Apparel. We cannot forget he's on the couch with us. Drip. Ultra pure water. We can't forget.
I was looking around.
We can't forget that Drip Ultra pure water. We got Sleek Vodka.
Yeah.
We got Confidence 71. We got Wavy by PLG. Now, all these things are locally owned entrepreneurs from the town. So all these things. You can't forget Dispatch Post USA. All right. Yes, I got one guy. Yeah. And then we cannot forget Parkland 18. I got Max Mendoza. Swedish Teas. Can't forget those. All right. Now, I gotta put one more little play. It is the school. It's chocolate box. It's out there.
It is.
Oh man, it is. It really is. All right. So now we're gonna bring out Jabrelle. All right.
The lightning strikes bright, the only light at night. I hate what they bring to sight. You say you're late from work, but there's lipstick on your shirt, and you're no cries like out of queen. Now she's got bigger thighs, but I've got bigger eyes. So what decision will I make? And I try to play the puzzle if I see the glass half full, but my heart feels at least half empty, and I don't wanna play the fool, but I gotta feel the rain is not gonna go away, and I got a blue feeling. The storm system is here to stay, and I got a blue feeling. And it's feeling mine without, and I got a blue feeling. That you're gonna be walking down. I guess I'm more than you deserve. You had yours, it's my turn. It's Serena, I'm a servant. But in the house you have the key, but give it back to me. Pick up left and right on my face, and I try to play the puzzle if I see the glass half full, but my heart feels at least half empty, and I don't wanna play the fool, but I gotta feel the rain is not gonna go away, and I got a blue feeling. The storm system is here to stay, and I got a blue feeling. And it's feeling mine without, and I got a blue feeling. That you're gonna be walking down a broken horse, highly bruising. Go ahead and get the lesson learned. I'm picking up and I'm moving on. So guess what? It's your turn, turn, turn. Now you got a blue feeling. The rain is not gonna go away. You got a blue feeling. The storm system is here to stay. Now you got a blue feeling, and it's feeling your head without. Now you got a blue feeling, 'cause I'm gonna be walking out blue feeling. Now you got a blue feeling. I've got a blue. I've got a blue feeling.
This episode was brought to you in part by Wilson's Pizza and Grill and Jegna Klub TV. Our Facebook Live broadcast was brought to you in part by New Wall Street. Our musical guests are brought to you in part by Henderson Entertainment. Our live audience giveaways are brought to you in part by The Royals. Our venue partner is the Elegant 1739 Gallery. Our clothing partners are Truth, The Reason, and Brainiac 91. Our beverage partners are Drip Ultra Pure Water and Sweeties Teas.
So Dave, I want to get to a little something different. All right. we talking about, you know, work ethic and what happened. I want to just ask a couple of questions, you know, and how I put this in here. We skipped the fun question set.
Thank God.
From the jump, you know what I'm saying? So now, I want to.
Are you done with that?
I'm done with that. In a different way, in a different way.
Pretty much.
In a different way. We ain't gonna really go with that. But what I'm gonna do is, I want to say a couple words, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Alright, I remember this. I learned now. Yeah, I'm ready now.
There's so much
It's pretty
things
much
woke up in. Alright, let's put this down. Let's go with slaves.
You ain't getting me. Every answer goes to drip.
Every answer can't be the same.
My sister, my younger sister.
But you know, just you know.
He like, boy, you really gonna do this? You really gonna say, okay, get him back and just, you know, throw him back out there. You know what I'm saying?
My little sister.
My little sister. Your little sister. Make sure we put that up there. Okay. Alright. 18th and Vine.
Boy, that's a lot. That's I'm KC, historical, Negro League, Soray, Velvet Freeze, historic, you know, 3rd District, Brandon Evans. I don't know who we doing. Greg Center, Parade Park. Yeah, come on. True, for sale. Come on. All right.
Pin right just there.
Pandera.
Q, legendary.
Down.
Legendary Pandera. A lot of history. A lot of history. You got an office here, don't you? I'm serving it back to you.
This ain't about
I'll serve it back to you.
We do, but it ain't about you.
Okay, I'm serving it back.
I love how you corrected it.
That's what I know as a Q. Legendary Q.
Okay.
Yeah, never TVs.
Man,
Oh, I'm sure.
Wilson.
Wilson. Oh, yeah, my bad, Gary. Yeah, Wilson. Yeah. See, I jumped to the club, didn't I?
So right now to the club. You had to go past Mr. Wilson to get there.
Yeah, put him in and all that.
Man,
All right, come on.
Alright, fun fact.
Indian Springs? Come on, man. I never had a chance to, you know,
Yeah.
the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
They had to sneak there.
Yeah, okay. Let's two more. Two. We don't keep too many. We don't slide too much. We'll put this one up there. Sorry. You got one? Go ahead, get your one. Oh, now I'm entertaining.
I'm entertained.
I'm not entertaining. I'm not entertaining. Let's put, should I say? Yeah, I'm going ahead. Well water.
Come on, man. Drip. Drip ultra pure water.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah. Sit right there in front of you.
It's sitting in front of me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on. It's like that wheel on your shirt.
No, there it is.
Yeah. Orca wear. Yeah.
Okay,
Shout out to Fat. Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, that's dope. You know, anything jump out of water, anything jump out of water is Chris.
Hey.
Come on.
Now, this is my leading question to the next one.
All right.
Why you?
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready. You set the play up. I'm ready. Come on.
He had to get on his toes.
Yeah. You see me in position.
Now, this one is not a one word or nothing. This one is actually leading into something. This question here is coming back. I'm asking now. Why is there a picture of your mom on each of the cans?
Okay, right on. I like
So
it.
we through with fun.
Yeah, this is not, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we back to some real.
Now we got it. So why is the picture?
So, basically, to make a long story short, she took her final ride. And when I say that, meaning, so 2010, she was diagnosed with dementia. So my mother, she was, history, we're working on a documentary with my mother because I want people to understand where she came from. Small town Alabama. Her job was to teach her brothers and sisters how to read in school. It was real, like it was just what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And she came up here, she got her degree from Delaware State. She went to Yale. They had a program in the 60s. And she graduated from Yale in the 60s. Real talk. It is, and mind you, what? My mama told me, Mama, you what? Like how? She said, yeah, baby, that was my job. It worked. Once again, it was not a big deal. It was what was expected, right? So she graduated super cum laude from Delaware State, then went to Yale. They had a program out of 75 kids. She graduated top of her class. And they did a story for her and paid her praise. She had a little clip showing some family out. So she was an educator, very strict, and she was the editor of the publication as well. And like anything, unfortunately, age, a lot of other things start happening. So she was diagnosed with dementia. And so when she was diagnosed with dementia, I'm like, well, I was always around the paper, and I, just the way I moved, I wanted to make sure they were straight. I wanted to see what I could do to help because I didn't want to see anybody suffer. So, long story short, she moved it well. I picked her up, and then she moved in with me. And so I was taking care of her. And it's a crazy dynamic, but it was a blessing. Because like I told her when she was passing away, I said, Mama, you taught me how to live, and then you also taught me how to die. It was a lot of, during that time in my life, my whole life changed for the positive reason. So the first in 2021, was it 2020, when I first got my water bottle, and so she was staying with me. So I'm saying I need somebody to watch Mom, right? I'm like, I need somebody to watch Mom because I gotta go deliver this water. I'm thinking it's gonna take me about 3-4 months to get this water off. This is my first time. I was doing a little bit of marketing and branding, but I didn't think, I think it's gonna take a minute. So I was prepared for that. And so I remember calling my brother and sister. Everybody was busy, everybody's jobs. And I said, well, Mom, you're gonna have to ride with me. Now, peanut. So she turned mute. She didn't talk. So I have to look at it. So you gotta understand, she went from an educator to not talking. So now when you're dealing with a person who doesn't speak, you gotta operate out of the spiritual realm. And you gotta understand that person, right? So I would literally look at her and say, Mom, you okay? So it brought us a lot closer during that time as well. So once the water came in, I remember calling my brother and sister. Everybody was busy because they had their jobs, and I said, well, Mom, you might have to ride with me. And I remember getting her dressed. I remember she hopped in the truck. It was out of issue. Just hopped in, put the seatbelt on, loaded the truck up with water, and I hit the block. Hit 18, and I remember pulling up to 18 Divine over to the Papa store. He walked out the store and he said, hey, man, you got Mama Jordan in the truck? I said, yeah. He said, man, sell your water, bro. We gonna watch it. I mean, that was number up. He said, we got your mom. He said, you can stay. He said, park right here. He said, leave the window down. We gonna make sure that she good. While you sit up on the corner, walk the block to sell the water, you go ahead and do it. So then I literally ran into Tech 9. He was going into Surrey's. And then so I'm coming in with the water. And then he saw me. And he said, hey, what's that? And I said, hey, man, this is my water. He said, yo, water? He said, is it good? So I slid one down. busted down, drank it. He said, "Hey, this is good. Tell everybody I said drink it." I said, "Nah, God, you tell them." He said, "Well, man, pull out your camera, man. I'm gonna do a commercial." I said, "Right on." He did a commercial right there for me, just on the string. So from that day, I got rid of 73 cases. And I thought I was gonna take 3 months. Took 10 days. 10 days. A month later, she passed. So I always say to myself that she took her final ride with me, which was her blessing. She's saying, "I'm gonna ride with this boy, and then I'm gonna help him do what he needs to do, and then I'm gonna be ready." So me, once again, showing love, I always got a record. So for me to see this can all around, here, throughout everywhere, everybody holding up the drip, but they don't realize that they're holding up my mom. So that gives me some satisfaction, and I just said, "Hey, mama, look at you. Well, you're everywhere now." Yeah, but so that's why I reason why I put it.
I like that. Now, I'm going to ask a preface question. So, how did you come up with selling water?
So,
Because they say you can sell water to a wake.
you know what? You got it on the show. we mixing it all up.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah. So, I always, based on the paper, I want to help. This guy was going to be 100 with you. I just want to help. I don't want my kids to look at me and say, "Daddy, why'd you do that? Why you put us in a position not to help?" You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't want it back on my watch that I done put 100% in to help the community, right? So, I'm a health freak. I like to go to the gym. I like to do all of that. So I love water. Being from the farm, we had spring, we had all of this well, so we had that. So my thing was, once again in business, this is how I think. Everybody else doing it's 10,000 bottles of water. Why would I do a bottle of water and do 10,001 with plastic? Why would you drink my water out of all of the other 10,000? So that means in business, I gotta come in the game different. So while everybody's doing that, then I'm gonna pull up with this. So now the appearance gets you. First off, water in a can? What's that about? Oh man, what's the alkalinity in it? So now I run into all these water connoisseurs, which is crazy. I'm like, I'm just saying tricks in this.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
But
I
know how we are.
But
But
yeah.
mind you, I understand how we are towards each other. We hard on each other, right? But I'm prepared for that. So what I say is to say, "Yeah, I know what you mean. Let me drink it. Just drink it." I'm not putting lipstick on the pig front. I got a fire spray. And I bottle it at the source. Ain't no sun to it. There's nothing that's going to drink it. And when they bust it open and drink it, they just look at you and say, "Where you get this water from?" So I know now I exceeded the expectation. But now the hurdle is, how does black dude come over? See what I'm saying? So then that's another level that you have to get past. I call it drink. Well, so I said, now I'm answering the question, but I'm I literally brought my kids around the table at the house at the island. And I said, I'm doing a water company. Mind you, all my kids are homeschooled. So they ain't out, they don't really know the lingo, out slang too much, right? So I'm prepared for them to double back with a particular answer. So I already came up with some clever words. I already had my name, but I just kind of wanted to see if they come up with anyways. They came up with all these 4 or 5 different names, and then I said, "Spit my truth." They said, "I like that." He was like, "Are you sure?" And I kind of looked at him and I said, "Yeah, I get what you're mean, but that's cool. Now it's my job to show you how cold this drip is going to be." So now I have the name, I have the concept. So now I need to design a logo. I need to come up with something different. So in business, which I know a lot of people know this, you got to come up with something that's going to set yourself apart. Once again, not only in business, plus I'm black, right? So you got all this on you, But I'm not running from it, I'm seeing it as an opportunity. So if I come in with a silver can, come in with the aluminum, come in with the spring water, come in with the logo, have all of the information on there, now I want you to drink it. And then when they drink it, they just kind of look at me and like, bro, come on with it. So yeah, man, so that's how it really kind of got out.
So we kind of moved into the next part of what my question was, but I'm gonna double back on something else.
All right.
How did it come about that you got the newspaper? Because we talked about it.
Yeah.
Parents had two different newspapers.
That's right, that's right.
And I don't remember the 901 was Kansas Globe. I don't
Kansas State
remember
Globe, right.
Kansas State Globe. The other one was something.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there were two different ones.
Right.
How did it come
So-
about that you got control of it in this dispatch?
So I'm gonna start off by saying, family business.
Okay.
You put that under the umbrella, you got a gumbo pot of different situations and issues, but coming out of the pot and setting it on the plate is this. In 2013, so when my mother took ill, the newspaper was doing that, right? 2007 is when we had the recession, right? A lot of newspapers was folding their tent. A lot of people was shut down. So people was trying to figure out what to do. So, we small black newspapers, we took a hit. So during that time, like I said, they were strong warming with the newspaper printers. You had to go pay with it way now, you shortcut. So now things was hard, things was tight. So businesses were slowing up, contracts were slowing up. So we closed the paper. But I relaunched it. And then I called. So right before it was closed, we changed the name from the Kansas State Globe to the Kansas State Dispatch. And we kept the Missouri State Post. Because the Post was big over there.
That's what I want.
There we go.
I wanted this. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
okay, there we go. It's murder.
So but I gotta tell you some history, which is this is where God, I always say, I ran in the bush, right? Yeah, throw favors. Like if you just do what you're supposed to do, God will throw you an alley hoop, and I should say the word alley hoop with God, but I'm saying He'll give you favor. So I'm in Wichita with the dispatch, pumping, going hard. Wichita's big, it's the biggest city in Kansas. So I'm there going back and forth. Well, I'm doing stories in 2009, 2010 about all the black towns in Oklahoma. Because Wichita, another 45 minutes away, whatever. So the way when you look at Wichita, it look like Oklahoma, the way the lay of the land is there. So I'm up there, pushing papers and whatnot. And so I'm doing a story every week about black towns in Oklahoma. Black Wall Street. It's all the way back then, about 15 years ago. I'm pushing. My phone was ringing. So one guy called me and said, "Brother, thank you." I said, "Okay." He said, "Thank you, brother, for continuing the dispatch." And I said, "Okay, I'm confused. What do you think?" I'm taking it on his face, right? Like, okay, he's just telling me to, just keep going. He said, "Aren't you a descendant of the dispatch?" I said, "No, I don't know what the dispatch is. I don't know what I'm a descendant of." He said, "Brother," I said, "you working in a light that you don't realize, but God's watching." I said, "Okay." He said, "Do your research of the dispatch." Did my research. In Oklahoma, during the Black Wall Street, they had a black newspaper. It was called Black Dispatch. They thought I was a descendant and continued with the name. So in Wichita, they welcomed me. They like, this brother is deep. He's doing these stories on these black towns, and you mean you don't know? And I said, no. They said, well, brother, we want you to speak. Come on down to Oklahoma. Come on down to Boulder. Come on down here. You need to talk. Yeah, it was a different, because Wichita, they got a lot of southernness in it because of where they're located. So I began to see the different navigating through the city, and I started to receive a difference there than I did here. Here was a different, like I said, it was a different play. So I began to understand, but what threw me when you ever remember Fish Town? on 34th and Prospect. It was a fish place out, fish tank. I was in there dropping papers up. There was a dude in there, off the block, you know, in there. I'm doing what I just did, ran in there, dropped papers off. He said, bro, hey man, is that the Post? I said, yep. He said, hey man, do you still got those stories, man, about those small towns in Oklahoma? I turned around, I said, yeah, homie, I sure do. Like, he was like, bro, man, I read that stuff every week, bro, keep it up. Like, it was, so then I started to realize, man, what in the world? These guys is feeling this because it was different. They ain't reading about their homies on the front page getting smoked. They ain't reading about the Fed list. They ain't reading, this was the first time. I met Ice Cube. Ice Cube seen the paper. Ice Cube, I had Cube on front page. Cube was like, hey man, is this your paper? I said, yeah. He said, this your paper? I said, yeah. He said, hey man, it's where your cameraman. I said, shit, he over there somewhere. He said, man, what you grab and bring it back? I'm like, hey bro, Cube bones, come on. Dude come back. He grabbed the paper, hit it to his chest, and held it up. And then I was like, bro, you ain't gotta do all that. And he said, why not? And I said, shoot, man, come on. So we took the picture, and he leaned over. He said, man, what's wrong with that? I said, bro, I ain't never seen nothing like that. He's like, shoot, man, I'm on the front page, and I ain't getting nothing bad. He's like, bro, man, shoot, you got something I can take back to Cali? I said, bro, I got tons of them. I started to realize these guys sliding in town, they looking like I ain't never had love from a town newspaper that's bringing me in. So I was doing the jacket everybody. Everybody that slid through, they was posting with pictures with the paper. So it was a different reaction. So now I'm getting grandfathered in, right? I'm getting grandfathered in from icons. So I mean, from 50 Cent, 50 threw his arms around it, snapped it up with me. I said, 450 was crazy. Like it's just, so it was just love. So once I started to understand that was the formula, is to present love, do stuff on a positive note, but in the midst of it, not only show them love, but also put the town.
Do you think that the Wire would have the success it does if you didn't have?
You know, that's an excellent question. No. And what the reason I say that is because I don't not stop counting my blessings.
Right.
So, and I try not to get too analytical about that part, because if I get too caught up into that, I can miss the boat somewhere else. All I know is, man, it's work. I don't even know the ingredient.
Right.
You don't want to know what's in the pot. It's fire. That's all I want to know. So yeah, but I think they're all working with each other, and I think it's a testament to hard work.
Yep.
You know, because I've seen people go in business and they just kind of had a tough time, and I just approach things from a different way. I'm not knocking anybody. Do whatever you want to do, but when I'm pulling up, I've done some homework, and I may have to take a hit, but trust me, I'm doubling back.
The hustle is organic.
So
You know it.
I gotta ask this, man. I said I was gonna not leave this interview without asking you, because I felt some type of way when I seen that you was in Price Chopper. I said, boy, I felt some type of way. I felt like I scored a touchdown. I said, man, what's going on? So talk to me about the expansion of being into Price Chopper.
So this is another ingredient of so. If you know, so when you get to know me, I got many sides to me, right? So, and you have to in business. You know, I got to be the marketer, got to be the brander, I got to be, you got to wear all those different hats, right? And some people, if they not up on it, what's wrong with dude? Like, nah, I just got to play that position right now. But so, I've been knowing David Ball, the guy that runs Price Shoppers and all that, years, right?
That's so casual to say. I've been going there for long.
Well, there's a reason why, and this is where I was getting at. He took out an ad in the paper for years. Right. And so I make sure whenever I do business, I try to make it effortless. I don't want to make it where you have to think twice. You know what I mean? To where you're like, you know what, I can just pull out. I don't want you to think twice. I want it to be just a smooth transaction. So whenever I do business, I try to make it effortless. So I would see him every other week and pass. Hey, Daddy, you know, just different conversation. And we formed a mutual friend, and we talked. And I had the water. I was feeling good like I was earlier today. I said, hey, Dave, this is how I talked to him. Hey, Dave, get some water. He said, okay. He said, come on back in my office. I'm back in this man's office, size of this room. He said, what kind of water you got? And I said, I got spring water. He said, okay. And so we did work the numbers, and he said, okay. He said, man, I'm gonna get you with my water guy. So, being 100 with you, I dropped the ball. This happened a year and a half ago. I dropped the ball. I did. I dropped the ball. And there was a reason why I dropped the ball, because internally I felt like I wasn't ready. See, this is just me being real with myself. I didn't want to come into the game not ready.
That's a whole different conversation.
You know what I'm saying? So some people, they want the attention, but they ain't got the, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm going to put my name on it, then I'm going to make sure that I'm ready to get the game. So when he made that offer first, I was shocked. And then I said, well, Mr. Ball, let me come back to you. He said, okay, a year and a half. I saw him again, you know, we see each other speak, jokes written. But this time I was ready, right? You know, it was one of the things where I said, nah, come on with it. Because you all don't know this, but when I first started this was, in my mind, it was a fact find. I kind of wanted to see how the town was going to take it. I didn't know it was going to fly cool. Yeah, I didn't know. So that's the God blessing. So when I knew that, then I said, okay, well, once I come back around, I better be ready. So when I saw him again, we had a conversation, we sat down, he said, man, you still doing the water? I said, yeah. He said, what happened? And then I said, Dave, I dropped the ball. And you know, people like that love when you are accountable, right? He ain't bad. Oh, well, you know, it was bad. Then, you know, he started coming up with all that. Nah, that was on me. I dropped it. He said, okay. He said, I'm gonna put you on my water guy. So I met with the water guy. You could tell he didn't really, you know, they got us again a bunch of water, right? So, you know, when I met with him, I felt it. But I love it, right? I love a challenge. So I felt it. He said at the table, he said, so what's the difference about your water? And I'm way out of my way, 150 miles. And so I was telling him the spiel. He said, so if I had it here, why would I say, what would make you, you know? And then I said, well, and this is where I took control. This is just business. This is, once I test the room and feel you out, now I'm going home. I said, oh yeah, it was all pleasantries. And then I scooted my chair up and I looked at him. I said, listen, man, I need this water in here. I said, I don't want it out here, Jay. I said, I don't want it out here yet because I know what the setup play is. If I put it out here and it doesn't sell, then you're going to say, well, unfortunately, yada, 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 we can't have you in here. I said, I know my market put me here. Okay, well, I'll get back with you on Monday. I guess he was shocked. Called me the next day. Monday was like 3 days, but he called me the next day. Well, he did. It was another guy. Man, we're going to get you a Sunfresh, Price Chopper, and Hen House. I said, well, when you ready? He said, Tuesday. And I said, let's do it. So hold on. But because I know the game, right? Mm-hmm. Remember, and my mom was telling me to go there and make us look stupid, right? Well, so I'm already ready. I pulled up on time, uniform on, hat, you know, everything is looking professional because I didn't want them to be like, I don't know, some white dude came in the back door with some water. I don't know who he is. Everything was labeled. He looked at me, he said, okay. And I guess he was so shocked, he said,
I'm just not very
come on,
finish. I've still been asking for one of them drip shirts like that. Go ahead. That's it. We just gonna go back. I've been trying to get the drip. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad. You know, I thought everybody might get.
Hold on. You ain't the only one.
Oh,
man, I was that. So, when I got to the thing, they said, here, just put your water next to Fiji.
Yeah.
When he said that, I knew you know, whether it was a setup on his end But then I looked up on it, all you did was create value.
That's what I was thinking.
So come on. Every challenge that you, now in business, I'm thinking you're showing me a challenge. It probably wasn't that way, but that gets my batteries going, right? I'm like, okay, cool. You put me next to Fiji, let's rock. Then the next store, he put me next to Essential. So every water was top tier. So when the customer's mindset, well, if I'm already paying $200 for this, I might as well get shoot. This isn't a can.
Yeah.
Right? This is different. All the plastics in one can. What makes this water different? Shoot, I'll at least try it.
At least try it.
At least try.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I went around, but this was the other thing that I did to make them feel obligated. And I shouldn't get his game out, but it ain't game. It's just what it is.
Come on, man, kids here.
Come on, nah. This is what I did. I went to every store manager. Would you mind taking a picture with the water so I can let everybody know on social media that the water is sold here? Wow, nobody's ever asked me to take a picture of a product before, but they felt good.
Come on,
Sure.
folks, man.
They want to take that. Who don't want to?
But I was letting them know that I want you to take value in mine as you do feed.
Right.
So I'm creating stock into the water to where now you're gonna say, man, you know what? I think you should try. It's a can water back there that you should try. I met the guy who owns it. He's pretty, he's pretty cool. So that's a sales business tactic.
How long have you been in stores?
So I just started, but
You've been in other stores.
I've been in other stores, but I chose to wait to be in the stores.
Yes.
That's me building the brand up through the hood.
Yep.
I wanted the
Grab the
name.
buzz.
I didn't want the water everywhere. People say, well, I don't want it everywhere. I don't want it everywhere. My job is to brand it and market. That's why you go on my Facebook, you see me branding it all the time. That's a play. It's branded. Entertainers carry the drip. Such and such football players get it. Whoopie whoop. It builds the brand up. Now the next question after that comes, where can I get it?
Right.
Right? So now you're creating another trail of people following you. How do I get the trick? So then, man, it's exclusive. So when they hear the word exclusive, you know, us, we trying. Or it's like, okay, well, so I got money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's an insult. I got money now.
Yeah.
That's cool, bro. You gotta get it from me. What? You don't have your store? Not yet. So when you got the drip, everybody in the town like, bro, where you get that from? I've been looking for it.
Well, I don't say they've been asking how they even social podcast got through.
See what I'm saying? So it creates, right, it continues to create a brand. So then when I told the guy this was his question he told me he asked. He said, man, you got a large marketing budget? He said, because you're gonna need it. And then I looked at him and I said, I really appreciate you saying that. I said, but I think I got it together. He looked at me, he said, you sure? I said, yeah. I said, I really appreciate it. So when I made that post, in one day, I had 13,007 views. I went back to David Paul. I said, hey, Dave, thanks for the opportunity. You know, I'm still doing the pleasantries. I said, thanks, Dave, for the opportunity. I said, by the way, I took a picture with one of the sales managers at the store. I said, man, I gotta show you something. Pulled out my phone, looked it around. I said, man, I got 13,007 views in a day and a half. He said, what? And he looked at me, he grabbed me by two hands and just hugged me. He said, you go tell that to the water guy. Like you? And then I said, yeah. So he's looking at me like, how in the world are you able to do that? But see, that's what I always tell people, when you're in business, anything, don't run down, walk down. Take your time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you run down, you got tunnel vision.
Right.
When you walk down, the whole thing is yours.
Yeah.
But so do it right. You know what I'm saying? Do it right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you may slip up here and there, whatever, that's just part of the game. But you left enough room to pick yourself back up and nobody's even tripping if you stumble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you run down, everybody like, man, look at this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's harder for you to recount because now your feelings involved, you embarrass everybody that's seen you or whatever. Now you gotta go back a different way, change your name. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, yeah.
Time frame she's on.
Yeah.
Time frame she on.
Yes,
All right.
sorry.
She got her hands on her hips today.
I see her across
She's
the
like,
legs.
she's like, boy, this. Yeah. And T Money will turn my mic on. So I gotta move to the next, to the last part of this. You know, Dave, I do have another question to ask you, but before I get to our ending couple questions, I gotta say, you know, we appreciate you being here. Now I don't call you the entrepreneur icon for a slight reason. You know what I mean? I say that, and I know sometimes like that, but I'm saying that because, man, you are an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying?
That's just crazy here.
Like, I know you don't, but this is the truth. You know, we're here to speak truth to power. You know what I mean? You are, very few people ever have one successful business. You feel me? You got two. You see what I'm saying? Very few people are able to hold on to a family business.
Yeah. Oh, I never finished that. I changed the name in 2013.
Right.
That's what I did. I
You
started
changed it.
over.
Right.
I started over.
You started over.
I had to.
And you merged the two.
Right. I put the two papers together. So that's where, from the Kansas State Dispatch to the Missouri State Post, that's where Dispatch Post, I put USA on there because I didn't want to just be here in Kansas City.
Right.
I wanted this to be the first Black USA to make newspaper.
I like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna come back, but you got it. So
Yeah.
you gotta come
Yeah.
back to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do have to say this. We appreciate you being here.
Right.
I'm very busy. You know, I understand what you're doing. And we appreciate the partnerships that you have with us. But even more than anything, we appreciate the example that you're setting for our community. That it's okay to have positive. It's okay to do positive things.
Yeah.
It's okay to report positive news.
Yeah.
But it's okay, and you can be successful doing positive things.
Yeah.
So this platform is not just to put in front of our community people who are thriving in a professional manner. This platform is also to what we like to call give oxygen to people. Other people give flowers. We don't knock that. But we say give oxygen. Oxygen is a way for us to breathe life into our people to say, man, that we love you. We love what you're doing. Our community is behind you. Our community appreciates what you're doing. With the Evening Social Podcast, one thing that we did is we started what was called Oxygen University, because we believe that it's more important for us to not only hear it, but to have something. And so with the Evening Social Podcast, we like to give you this diploma saying you graduated from the Oxygen University.
That's why I wore the suit.
That's why you wore the suit. You graduated today. You're a captain today. So please, if you're here, please join with me in giving oxygen to David Jordon. All right.
I really appreciate it. You know, I don't like awards. You know that.
You know?
Nah. It's no knock. It's just, I feel like I ain't did that. Yeah, give me the business.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I mean, I appreciate it.
This right here,
Yeah.
what this is appreciation. This is not a award. This is appreciation. This is saying that you graduated from the community, and the community is telling you we appreciate you. We want to breathe life into what you're doing. We behind what you're doing. We support it, and keep doing what you're doing. Because your example is shining.
This is one of the dopest things I got. Nah, for
We
real.
appreciate it.
For real, because it's and I'm not knocking no other award, but it's more meaningful. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be something in my town than I would anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Because when home just respects you, you ain't worried about. I mean, you can go conquer the world now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you can go conquer it. But nah, man, this is real. I really appreciate it. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't. You know, I just don't expect stuff like this. I know. I believe when you get an awards, man, you got to be in a tree. Just getting the cat out of the tree or something. Bring somebody out of a burning building.
But that's what you're doing. You bringing our community out of burning building, right? You're able to set an example for our youth to understand that they can do things. They can be doing what they want. They can have ownership. They can have business. That's what this means. That's why it's so important for us to have you here, your story to be told, and then for us to give you that option. So we appreciate it. So last question for the day. You got 20 seconds.
Here we go. I knew it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You
Come
got
on.
20 seconds.
You tried to do this?
You're in front of
I don't know, but it's
You're in front of the whole world,
His
Fred.
temperature change.
The whole world, Fred.
Oh,
You're in front of the whole world. 20 seconds. What would you use that and fill that 20 seconds? What would you tell the world? What would you use? Now, don't tell us what you would do. You're
Yeah.
gonna look into the camera and give us this 20 seconds. You only got 20 seconds.
That's all I need.
Yeah, okay. Well, I want you to look into the camera and give us this 20 seconds, all right? T1, he looking in camera right here. This is camera. Camera 3. You looking in camera 3 right here.
This is one of these.
Yeah. Ayana is gonna count you down. She's gonna give you a 3 count, and then you go.
Kansas City and all of the surrounding areas. I don't know if you drink water. I don't know if you drink water. I'm telling you right now, you need to try some of this Drip Ultra Pure Water. Bottled at the source in an aluminum can. If you love good, clean spring water, you'll love this. Even once you finish this water, you can pour whatever you want to back in the can because it's still considered drip. Right on. Sir?
Oh man, I like that. I think that is about 75% one of the greatest.
75? Oh man, what the other quarter is?
Well, the other part, you didn't tell me how to get it. You didn't tell them where to get it, how to contact, or none of that.
That's enough.
You said that's just enough. Just about good enough. But how they know where to get it?
You know where to get Jordans? You look for Jordans, no?
Man, come on and tell the people.
Boy, that's a good one.
But I'm just being.
That's a good one, Jordan.
All right,
That's a
okay,
good
but
one.
to answer your question, okay. You see, I always got a rebuttal.
I don't like it.
I got a rebuttal.
Right.
So you can pick up Drip Ultra Pure Water if you are in Wyandotte County. You can go to Hen House on 82nd and Pearl. You can go to Price Chopper on 78th and State. If you're in the other end of Wyandotte County, you can go to 47th and Shawnee at the Sunfresh. That's right off 635. If you're in Johnson County, right at the end of Johnson County, 75th and Metcalf at Price Chopper. You can double back. You can come on 18th Street Expressway. The Sunfresh is sit right off the freeway right there at 7. That's where you can get Drip Ultra Pure Water.
Or they can just
Hit me. In the words of Mike Jones, you can call me at 913-481-4727. I'm old school. You can hit my line and I answer back. Call me. You can get the water. Water's going fast. That sounds crazy, but water's going fast. But I got something working. I want you all to be out on the lookout for around August and September.
you got something working.
I got something
Look
working.
out, August and September.
I should have said that. I don't know. Put that out there. But it's out there now. It's on wax.
So we gonna
But yeah,
It's
yeah,
on wax.
it's on wax. Yeah. So yeah, towards the end of August, around football time,
Okay.
I'm bringing game day drip back.
Yeah, you bring a game day drip. So we had that game day drip. The best thing some of
It's the
us.
same drip. It's just in the Chiefs color.
Oh, and the
So,
big can.
Yeah,
Oh, I
red,
see
red,
that.
yellow, and all that.
Yeah, with all the game
Hey,
day.
yeah, this is your game day.
Hey,
I
I
can't.
I just want to say,
What she said.
you know,
I'm not asking for it, I'm just telling you.
Hold
what
that.
happened.
Hold that. You not a Chiefs fan?
I have no.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe that's where we was going.
It's the same story.
No, why would you go there?
I don't know. It was the
I'm just saying I don't have any drip.
we just don't say this.
I got
just don't say
yeah.
this. Drip will be on the shoes.
Oh, can I? That's what you gonna say?
Yeah. And I get you some drugs. Nah, I got some.
I guess I just asked
No, that's not what I said. I said
I
drip
got
will
it.
be on the show.
Yeah, this is a family affair.
Dave, something else that I want to say before we get out of here, that I haven't, I've said it, but I want to put it on record of saying, man, we appreciate so much what you do for our community. Me coming from Jenee Klub, we appreciate so much the support that you give us, especially with this edition. You know, I gotta give my man T Money. You know what I'm saying? T Money out here. You know, he was an Eagle Award winner, Student of the Week Award winner. And we appreciate so much that you support us. And sometimes we get weeks, and you put it in the newspaper, man. We appreciate it. We thank you very much. That means a lot. to our community. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to other families that you would even think sometimes to put us in here and have the students recognized like that. It means a lot to them. And so we thank you very much for that, man. Appreciate all that, man. Appreciate all the support. Hey, I am Coach Mo.
And I'm Jabrelle.
Together, we are Culture Keepers. And we love you.
We appreciate you.
We thank you for being here with us. All right. Now, next week, got another one coming. We got Brainiac 91.
Okay.
Kamisha Witherspoon will be right here on the couch with us, talking about all things Brainiac 91,
Hey, boo.
brain surgery, everything where she's moving. We got all that. Oh man, it was solid. We love it. We appreciate it. Gotta say thank you to our interns this evening for being here. We appreciate them. We get to know, we start next week, we get to know one of them each week. Here on that. So we get to know one of them.
They look ready.
And then get to know, I know they already ready. They're getting to work. They get on camera too. Ain't just behind the camera, they get on camera too.
I see it on both sides.
Both sides. It's both. So we appreciate that. Thank you to all our community partnerships, all those who came. But I would say thank you. And we got a treat coming.
Okay. You just full of everything. Hey,
Listen, this is like you had a good meal.
Yeah.
And now you want that dessert.
Cheesecake.
This is
Jelly.
This is jelly, baby. This is
Oh,
jelly rolls, baby.
Ready to
We
go.
got jelly rolls coming.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? She's gonna finish up and give us one more, performance.
Right on.
So, we appreciate all y'all. We love you. Thank you. This is the Evening Social Podcast. And don't leave. Stay tuned. Jelly Rolls will take us home.
I guess I'm more than you deserve. You are yours, it's my turn. It's Serena, I'm a servant. This is a house, you have the key, but give it back to me. Pick up plastic, get out my face. And not trying to play it puzzle. And she